you're a fan of a great ghost story, you might want to consider taking advantage of one of the haunted ghost story tours that happens here in New Orleans. It's not an included excursion, but I have to guarantee you it is a lot of fun. New Orleans comes alive after hours for dining, dancing, and entertainment, but it also haunts, it creaks, and it whispers. So we're going to meet up with local historian Robert Florence, who's going to take us on a tour in New Orleans here to find out the darker side of New Orleans after hours. Well, Robert, how appropriate. I like the Day of the Dead shirt. That's pretty great. So Robert, where are we right now and what makes this haunted?
We are in front of the Royal Orleans Hotel, and it's haunted for a few reasons. One incident happened in 1915. There was a hurricane that destroyed the building. It's been rebuilt since then. During this hurricane, a maid perished in the hotel. It is said that she haunts one of the rooms on the second floor, 214, and it is as if she's doing her job. For example, she will raise and lower the temperature of the air conditioning and the heating in an appropriate way. They say that she likes to flush the toilets. But the most haunted aspect is that people will say that they feel the sheets of the bed tightening around them, and then they wake up and they see a maid there who's tucking her in and then just disappears.
No.
Yeah, well, that's what people say.
Really?
Yes.
Like frequently?
Yes.
What's the hotel again?
The Royal Orleans.
Okay, noted.
Yes.
I'm not staying in the Royal Orleans. Okay. All right, Robert, I know this is just one of many, so let's explore one of the other spots, okay?
Yes,
let's
indeed.
Go.
Okay, this magnificent specimen of New Orleans architecture, Napoleon House, a legendary place, and it was initially owned by a man named Nicholas Girard, and they say that his ghost haunts this balcony. Nicholas Girard, in the early 19th century, like a lot of French Creoles, was very disappointed that Louisiana became American, and when Napoleon got sent into exile for the second time in 1820, he actually sent sailors to St. Helena Island to bring him back, and Nicholas Girard was going to give Napoleon Bonaparte this building, and he was going to spend the rest of his life here, but in the meantime, Napoleon Bonaparte died. But they call it Napoleon House all the same, and you will see a man in 19th century dress strolling on that balcony, and it is not Napoleon Bonaparte, it's supposed to be Nicholas Girard waiting for the emperor.
And he strolls on that balcony?
That is what people see.
Wow, and there's more?
Yes, there's more. In fact, just 2 doors down.
All right, let's go check it out.
So here we have the Pharmacy Museum, which is the first licensed pharmacy in the history of
Hold on, I'm getting a feeling right here. Robert, New Orleans Pharmacy Museum. There's some spooky stuff in here. I'm getting a little tingle.
Yes, that is what people experience inside the Pharmacy Museum. The first licensed pharmacist who owned it was a man named Louis DeFilo, who had 2 children who died, and they say that the children haunted. But he sold it to a subsequent pharmacist named Joseph Dupont. Joseph Dupont was basically a psychopath. He was conducting medical experiments, and they also said that when he was conducting these experiments, he kept a carriage waiting in this carriageway in case somebody would die. Now, they say he comes back and haunts the place on the 3rd floor. He wears a brown suit and he does 4 things. He rearranges the items in the display cabinets. He sets off the security alarm. He likes to throw books at people and push people down the stairs. So they said that on the 3rd floor you will hear groans and have a pretty strong emotional reaction to that space.
Robert, you're giving me a little bit of a spooky feeling here. Have you ever had any of these feelings? Have you ever walked around New Orleans and felt a little bit haunted?
Oh, absolutely. But I would say the only really specific metaphysical experience I had was in a cemetery and not in a building of the living.
Well, I hope to stay out of a cemetery for a very, very long time.
So the spirits of this hotel are supposed to be friendly and playful because they emanate from children. The earliest one was a 3-year-old boy named Maurice Berger, whose parents stayed here frequently, and they were patrons of the French Opera. And they were at the French Opera House one night, left the child with a nanny who started to have convulsions and went to a high fever and tragically died. The mother came back, was devastated, and told the father that he needed to come back every year on the anniversary to try to connect with the spirit, and eventually that happened. She saw the apparition of the child, hugged him, was in tears, and the child's spirit said to her, "Mama, don't cry, I'm fine," and that gave her closure.
And what is the story about the floors?
Yes, so that happened on the 14th floor, which is actually the 13th floor. Many old buildings don't have a 13th floor because for superstitious reasons, it being bad luck, it would scare away tenants. And very interestingly, many of the haunted stories from this hotel, which do involve playful children, are on the 14th floor.
Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it doesn't really matter. Perhaps you simply like a good spooky story. I'd suggest you take a Haunted New Orleans tour to get a glimpse in what happens after dark.